We continue our focus on celebrating the Eid under COVID-19 pandemic lockdown, ease of restrictions, and a curfew. We'll be joined now on the news at 10 by Imam Abdurrahman Ahmad to look at the celebration of Eid this year. Thank you for joining us on the news at 10, and Eid Mubarak to you.
Thank you.
How does it feel, celebrating this Eid amidst the global health pandemic, the fact that, faithful can't gather together to worship together, and I'm sure lots of people were probably looking forward to meeting other family members, friends, and colleagues, just to celebrate?
Well, I must confess it feels very odd indeed, and majority of Muslims would not have witnessed this in their lifetimes, because probably the last time this happens will be during the 1919 Spanish flu pandemic. So for a lifetime, we have been gathering during Eid, and this is unique. As painful, as odd as it appears, it is in the best interests of all of us. Islam being a very practical religion, we already have provisions for all of these, because the Prophet ﷺ said, when there is a pandemic or an epidemic, the priority should be the preservation of life, and people should stay in their houses. In fact, even in less serious situations, like in situations of rain and flooding, you are advised, in fact, you are enjoined to pray at home. So it is against this background that it's relatively easier for the Muslim community to cope with it, as odd as it is.
Yeah, and you did see that some of your other Muslim faithful celebrating in the northern part of the country. There were a number of congregations that held. What are your thoughts on that, based on what you have just said about people observing certain restrictions, even when there's just even a small crisis?
You see, it's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. They should not be put down to Islam itself, but to an interpretation, a minority, fringe interpretation of the text. I can tell you for sure that the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, which is the apex body of Islamic organizations and the Muslim community in Nigeria, has issued directive to the fact that the Eid should be suspended because of the pandemic. And the Fatwa arm, that's the Fatwa Committee of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, the Fatwa Council of the Jamaat Nasr Islam, had also issued similar fatwa. Fatwa are, religious rulings, as guiding Muslims what they should do in particular circumstances. So there is adequate religious information on what to do during a pandemic as far as the Eid is concerned. But since we are just a Muslim community, we do not have, the power to enforce. We could only advise, and this is the result of what we're seeing. But strictly speaking, as far as Islam is concerned, it is unfortunate that some people will have to flout it.
And what is the significance of the Eid-El-Fitri for the sake of your neighbors who are not Muslims, just to understand what the celebration is about?
Is the festival, after the completion of 30 days of fasting. It is a thanksgiving. It's, getting together, thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, rededicating our lives, and playing out the resolution that we have, made after 30 years of fasting. That is why one of the most important things during the celebration is reaching out to the less privileged through what we call Zakat al-Fitr, so that everybody will be happy, fellow feeling, reaching out to others, having empathy, so that no one will go hungry, everyone will feel happy, everyone will feel fulfilled, and this is what is supposed to be, carried over to our everyday life, even after the Eid.
And we wish you happy celebrations, you and all of the Muslim community here in Lagos and around Nigeria. Thank you so much, Imam Abdurrahman Ahmad, for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you.